everyone, RogueGold here, welcome back to The Division 2. And today, there have been a good few scattered news stories in the world of The Division 2 this week. None of them are quite large enough to carry a video on their own, so, as we sometimes do, I wanted to try and round them all up into one concise video. We're going to be covering topics like the new mystery weapon that everybody is talking about, previewing some of the things coming with the next patch for the game, including its release date, and much more. So, you know the drill. If you like what you see and you want to see more on The Division 2 moving forward, then be sure to subscribe if you've not already. Major shout out and thank you to our channel members. Y'all keep supporting, we keep making videos and growing together. Thank you so much for the privilege. There will be timestamps down below so that you can skip to whichever story in this roundup that you may want to hear about most. But without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, now I want to begin with the mystery weapon topic. It is something that a lot of people have been talking about this week, and this was actually the one story that I debated making a dedicated video for, but ultimately I figured we could cover it quickly enough within this format. I am a few days late to talking about this, so some of you all may very well know this information already. I just wanted to get the word out there for those who don't. This all started with the release of the trailer for the ongoing Rainbow Six Siege event Pass, which, if you didn't see, is delivering us new outfits and other rewards. In that trailer, players quickly noticed that during the Amaru outfit spotlight, there was something quite intriguing shown within the frame, and that is this agent is holding an LMG that we currently don't have access to in the game. Now, immediately when this started getting recognized, I saw some people say, well, you know, this has happened before, where trailers show us stuff that isn't reflective of in-game material, and that is partially true. For example, Episode 2's trailer back from 2019 showed a fully auto LVOAC, you know, years before the Lexington was ever thought to be brought to the game. Even just this year, the Battle for Brooklyn trailer showed us an agent using another LMG that we don't have in the game. The difference is, however, those examples are both within cinematics, right? They are not in-game footage or assets. What we're seeing in the Rainbow Six trailer is captured gameplay, right? This LMG is a rendered model that the agent has equipped. It even has one of the weapon skins from the event attached. And although we don't have access to this LMG in The Division 2, many veteran players were quick to note that this was actually a weapon that we had back in The Division 1. This is the Big Alejandro, an exotic LMG that was added in Update 1.8. It never quite reached the levels of fame or popularity as the House did, which was added in the same update, but it certainly had its fans, right? It was a pretty fun striker adjacent talent that it came with, which granted you more damage when shooting from cover. But notably, this was one of the few guns that didn't get brought over from The Division 1 to The Division 2 at launch. Even the House got ported as a high-end weapon with the MPX. And so, given this weapon has existed in the Division universe before, given that it's now showing up in this in-game Division 2 trailer, speculation has been running wild about if we will actually be getting this, if so, when, and how. Some people are theorizing that it'll be tied to the Rainbow Six event itself, perhaps at the end of the project chain. I'm not so convinced, though. The devs have not said a peep about this in relation to this specific event. However, there is one other opportunity that I think seems much more fitting, and it's coming this season. Take a look at this.
And Season 2 wouldn't be complete without marking Black Friday in style. Just like last year, we're celebrating the dedication of our SHD agents by introducing new veteran rewards and relaunching the referral program.
That's right, the Veteran Rewards Program, the same one that gave us the Lexington last year, is returning later in the season on Black Friday. And so the Big Alejandro, or whatever it may be called now, seems like it would be a pretty perfect fit. Just like the Lexington, they would be reissuing a popular, strong gun that never made it to the Division 2, or in the Lexington's case, got turned into a single fire. And yeah, if they give this thing some slick new skins for veterans, I would be all over that. I have wanted the Big Al back in the game for years, so if this turns out to be true, that would be awesome. But keep in mind that we don't know for sure that that is how it will arrive. If it is coming at all, we'll see. But that's what we know for now. Alright, now our next bit of news here actually has to do with The Division 1. Somewhat out of the blue, yesterday it was announced that The Division 1 is now on Xbox Game Pass, or it's returned to Game Pass. I think it might have been there years ago. This comes alongside a bunch of other Game Pass news and changes that were announced. That's a whole different story. But yeah, overall, I see very little downsides to this. The Division 2 went to Game Pass back in May, and we saw a huge surge of new players trying out the game on PC and Xbox talks alongside the release of the new DLC. Of course, the Division 1 is no longer supported in the same way that the Division 2 is, but in the year of 2025, any efforts made to bring new people into the Division ecosystem at all, or just keep it relevant, I see as a good thing. Hopefully the devs keep in mind that maintaining the Division 1 servers and connection is vital, especially with this addition to Game Pass. I know it's been having a lot of issues with that lately, highlighted by Livid here on Twitter. Next, I wanted to take a quick moment to cover something a bit differently than we normally do. This is not game news, rather it is a story from the community itself. So yesterday I got tagged by several people on a post made by Bendy's, I hope that's the correct pronunciation, and what she had shared was a very tragic but also really moving story on the Division's Reddit page about her dad. His name was John. He was diagnosed with kidney cancer back in 2022. Sadly, he passed away back in July of this year. The focus of her post, however, was his immense love for the Division 2. He would host family LAN parties where they would all play the game together, which she says strengthened everybody's bond. He would race out of bed every morning to play the Division 2, even throughout his entire treatment. This is a photo that she shared of him playing, which she says was from one of his final play sessions. Ultimately, her post leads up to asking, if they end up seeing it, if the devs may consider adding in a hunter to the game in John's honor. Well, word got around on this pretty quickly. Pale, the character art director on the Division 2, replied to this post yesterday, but then, literally minutes before I sat down to record this video, the game's official account replied itself, stating that they plan to reach out and find a meaningful way to honor John, which was his gamer tag, within the game. So yeah, I think that is about the best ending that one could hope for what is otherwise a very tragic story. And really, I just wanted to share this to remind everybody about the importance of community, right? I think this is the latest example of the care the Division players have for one another, despite all of the vitriol and other nonsense that is sometimes thrown around. And beyond that, I just wanted to pay my own respects and share my condolences with John's family. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the devs might be able to make happen in-game. Alright, now for our final story, let's talk about Year 7 Season 2.2. As with every season, tons of questions continually flow in about when will X, Y, or Z get patched and fixed, and, well, we're starting to get some details formed up about the next patch that is on its way. Thanks to this week's dev livestream, we know that the expected date for the next patch is October 21st. This is likely when the Halloween event is set to go live, so get ready for that. But thanks to a big update that happened on the Known Issues board this week, we now know some of the other changes and fixes that it will be bringing too. Keep in mind that this is not an exhaustive list. I picked out some of the more noteworthy things. In the confirmed category for things that are coming next patch, we have the fact that retaliations will now grant SHD and seasonal XP. I know this has been highly requested. They also plan to fix the issue where Legacy Climax missions would not allow usage of that season's modifiers if you did not play and unlock them within that season itself. As I said, both of those things are labeled and planned for Year 7 Season 2.2. They've then got several other items that are under the Investigating tab, meaning they could very well make their way into Point 2, given we've got a few weeks to go before it's here, or they could be things that are changed in the future. That includes the fact that Journey 2 is not counting for completion of Journey 8, the fact that the sanitation modifier is having that glow effect on your character after you use it, and the issue where gear dye is resetting on apparel skins whenever you swap them around. Again, there are many more things on each list here and on the board overall. As with all my videos, a link to the Division's link tree, which links you to this board but also all of the other resources that you need for the game, is down in the description. Well, my friends, that is just about everything that I've got for you in today's video. I figured we had a good amount of material to do a roundup style video like this. I hope you enjoyed and found it informative. As far as stuff happening in the game itself, I would not expect too much in the next 3-ish weeks here. I imagine the 21st will be the big day of the month as far as the next patch dropping and the new event. Hopefully we can maybe get that Survivors news in the meantime to tide us over. We covered that yesterday, if you're curious. But that's all I've got. I want to know your thoughts on any of these stories that we covered, or if there's anything else going on within the game and community that you think I should cover. Yeah, let me know. With that said, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold out.